Next item is an Erlenmeyer Flask. I think I deleted video, so I'll just have to retake that. So Erlenmeyer Flask usually has calibration, but again, this is not accurate, so we don't measure volume with this one. We can just use the calibration so that we can estimate how much volume it contains. So for this one, it contains as much as 250 ml. Ideally, that should be used with 250 ml. Okay, so it has a triangular. I mean, the upper part is somewhat unlike the Florence Flask. This one's the Florence Flask. Where's that one? I mean, so this one is a Florence Flask where it has a circular base. This one has somewhat triangular going up. So usually flask can be used. You usually handle flask with hands, of course with gloves, proper gloves, and then you can just swirl it like this one. If in case you need mixing, so no need of searing rod. But sometimes you can also, no, for flask you usually mix it with just swirling. As you can see, you cannot put, especially the Florence flask, you cannot put your steering rod. But anyway, you can use it. But the point is, flasks usually are used to handle liquids, and then if you want to mix it, you just swirl it like this. That's why it has good handling part. Like this one, the tip of this one is a good part where you can handle it with good grip. Like this also one. So this one is a Florence flask. It has um, it has a rounded shape, but it has flat surface. Usually those who has a round surface with this one, and I make up the video, like this one, it has round. So usually we call this boiling flask, wherein we can use this for more heat, for reactions with more heat. But take note, you should not put it still directly with fire or even with your Bunsen burners. You have to use wire gauze for that, for the next item. So this one with round bottom, sometimes it is called round bottom flask. But anyway, I'll call this boiling flask or round bottom flask. This one is a Florence flask, and the other version of this one is the Erlenmeyer flask. So Erlenmeyer and Florence flask are somewhat has the same usage for basic, for fundamental reactions or basic handling of liquids. While this one we usually do use this for heating purposes, the boiling flask. Okay, so next item is we have an extraction tube. So you can understand its usage by comparing it with a separatory funnel. This one is a separatory funnel. So usually separatory funnel is more basic than a separation tube or an extraction tube. Separatory funnel can separate two immiscible liquids. Or for example, you have oil and water. Of course, the water will be on the bottom part and your oil would be the upper part. So you can just use this side here. You just have to unscrew it. Therefore, the liquid will go out until you can see that the upper portion is already at the tip. So you can now turn it off. By that, you have already separated two immiscible liquids. So usually, that is the use of a separatory funnel. So your extraction tube is somewhat similar, but wherein it can extract, meaning it separates. That's why it has similar. But we most usually, the extraction tube is used for separating liquid with other substances. For example, I'll try to separate water. You can just imagine your filtering station, water filtering station. You have big tanks there. Actually, one of those tanks is just like this one. When you put some, let's say, filtering materials. For example, I can put activated carbon here, or probably resins. We call it ion exchange resins. You can just put it here, and then you can put the liquid, contaminated liquid, and then if that goes out, depending on what kind of material you have put inside, so it will filter out, or it will absorb those. For example, on my case, water with organic materials, I'll put carbon, maybe an activated carbon, and then it will leach out those organics, those which are susceptible to be taken by those carbon, but by the carbon, I mean activated carbon. Then what goes out is a more extracted, I mean more pure water, if that is water. So usually that is so there are many usage of this one. It depends on what type of material you're going to put inside the tube. Okay, so this is an extraction tube. We call it extraction tube.